Hello and welcome to the 6 months to 6 figures series of the Double Your Freelancing podcast. I'm your host, Zach Swinehart, and in this series, you will follow Maia, in this case, hello Maia, as I coach them from early stages of freelancing to earning a 6-figure annual income. So broken down, $100,000 a year is $8,333 a month. So my challenge with this series is to see how quickly I can get somebody earning that $8,333 a month, with the goal being to get them there within 6 months. It's gonna be pretty freaking easy with Maia, since her last episode, she had a 9K month, but not really because it was mostly deposits for several months, but nonetheless, that's what we're working on. So in this series, I connect with Maia every week or two, and it'll basically follow the same format as a one-on-one coaching session within the DYF Accelerator community, except with, some tweaks since it's like public and you're following along. So if you find yourself listening and thinking to yourself, oh, I wish I could get coaching like this from Zach, know that you totally can. And you can learn more at dyf.link/DYFA. So let's dive into the interview. Maia, I hear you've got some exciting updates for me. So let's first check in before the updates. Let's check in on the homework. So before this recording, Maia was telling me that you said something like you either did what was your verbiage? You either did some divine pivot or like a terrible thing. What? I don't know what you said.
I said, and in your language, I said, I either completed my homework or I pursued a huge kryptonite. So let's see what happens.
All right. So what was the homework? I don't even remember it. I got to pull up the notes. Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, I have it in my mind.
So what was the homework?
My homework was I had my playbook clients, which is my new 2-week service, express 2-week content strategy service. I had 3 or 4 clients that finished that service, and I felt that they wanted to keep working with me. And I was asking you how to upsell them or downsell them, but like continue working with them. So what I wanted to do and what your idea was to create this 90-day plan, this roadmap, reverse engineer it, pitched it to them. And then I came up with a productized way to do this, which is a membership model. And that is why this playground thing exists. It is the sales page of the membership. And it's not a membership. Okay. It's just it's retainer. It's just a retainer model made into a membership. So it sounds better than a retainer. And also, yeah.
Okay. So we quickly paused. I double checked my notes because I thought there was something I was missing. So we're talking about this upsell thing. The thing I was remembering is that you had this one client whom we were calling Anna. And I was like kind of posing this thing of like, what does it take to get her nurtured to getting her first, it's like, I think it's a sponsorship basically that would then, a partnership, getting her the first partnership that would be worth $500 to $2,000. And you had said you thought you could get her there within a month. And I was kind of saying, oh, what if you did performance-based or something and you weren't really down for that? So this thing, you're about to show me the sales page of this hidden page that you sent me, like this kind of continuity program thing you're thinking of, does it serve that goal of nurturing them ASAP to becoming the customer with money, or what's its function in the process?
That is its function, but in the process of doing this, I realized Anna is not a qualified client that I want to work with she is not my dream client. I don't want to, that's not my niche audience. And I think I just got excited because I was in a call and right after we had a call. But for me, with gold, realizing, yes, amazing client. I would love for her to continue working with her. But this specific project, this podcast or broadcast thing that I want to do with one ideal client, it's not her. I want to find someone that I say, okay, this is really like a gunpowder student type situation,
Okay. So as I pull up this page you're about to have me look at, what lens do you want me looking at it from? And do you want critical feedback, or do you want me to only say it looks awesome and give you positive feedback? Like, what are you looking for? Before I want to set my own tone so I don't mess up.
I want to think of the common good. So I want you to really give me critical feedback. Tell me if I am just overdoing it. Just so you know, I built this in 3 hours. I built pretty fast on Webflow, so it didn't take me a crazy amount. And I calculated how many hours it would take me to build the whole thing with the resources and library and everything, and it wouldn't be more than 12 hours because I have so many freebies already. And yeah.
Okay.
And everything
All right,
inside is
then
an
with
MP. Mm-hmm.
okay. All right, well then let me pull it up, and I'm fine to share my screen for this, like for everyone on the internet to see it, or should it be private?
Everyone, one day everyone's gonna
Everyone.
subscribe to my membership, so better do it now.
Yeah, great. Okay, so let me share my screen. All
Play.
right, so I've got the page pulled up. Password play. Fun, accessible, empowering membership for visionaries playground. And so, hold up. So before I look at this, let's talk about the goals. So basically, right now, the goal of the business is to get more of the expensive clients, and you need to nurture. And then this membership is meant to nurture people to the level that they can engage you for the full package. Is that right?
Kinda. Like now I'm realizing the
Okay.
potential of having tiers, of having a
Okay.
let's see how I can say it the quickest as possible, of having an affordable membership that is $44 a month, but maybe 100, 200 people have it, and that's a good, solid side income, easy to maintain. And then I have my one-on-one coaching clients who are part of that membership, but they receive one-on-one coaching and design with me. And now, as in with my productized services like Basecamp and Playbook, now I have a base and everything else is an add-on. So that's what I want. If you want to work with me, you pay this, and then we add on design. Unless you are a Basecamp client who wants to do branding, and then it's a different thing. This playground is something I would pitch you after we work together on my packages. Does that make sense?
I think so, but it wouldn't, let me just refresh my terminology memory. I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering this. Basecamp is your expensive one and Playbook is your cheaper one, right?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. I don't think it's a reflection of bad naming, by the way. I think it's just a reflection of my bad memory. So you're saying that if someone buys Basecamp, they would be upsold on this after, or this is primarily for upselling on Playbook people, or this is primarily for people who can't yet afford Playbook?
For everyone. For everyone, but it's different than Playbook. And I'm even thinking of discontinuing Playbook because this is more sustainable. Like I like doing Playbook. It was fun, but I think this has more potential to retain. This is like the next level, the next level Playbook. I think Playbook was a way for me to see, wow, okay, I love one-on-one. I love content strategy. I could totally work with someone for this amount of money. And now this is my way to like productize it.
Okay. The reason I'm being the way that I am is I'm trying to think of how this ties in with like the broad goals and the trajectory. Because last we were speaking, you had booked several Playbook clients and then several Basecamp clients. And like, I remember you wondering if you'd be able to fulfill a bunch of Basecamp projects concurrently. And then we were talking about maximizing Basecamp customers as kind of the current goal. And
Exactly.
so with this one, that's what like I'm having trouble reconciling it is like, how does this fit in? Because it seems almost like one end game goal could be maximum Basecamp clients, and then another end game goal could be like, maximum playground customers, but that they are kind of different focuses.
Totally.
But maybe they tie into each other in a way that I'm not hearing or something. So I guess that's the question is, if you were to choose one big ass goal, it previously would have been, well, kind of competition between the two, but then you chose to steer towards Basecamp. But that was kind of me maybe pushing you in a way you didn't want. If you were to choose one big ass goal as the primary goal that everything else is in service to, what is it? Is it getting Basecamp clients or is it getting playground customers?
It's getting playground members, not customers, but members, as in the cheap $44 a month members, but getting like 200. Because this is going to be very sustainable if I play my cards right, and then I can just take one Basecamp client per month, for example, 2 Basecamp clients per month, 2 coaching clients per month, and then really think about it. It's 4,400 more dollars if I have 100 people. I have 5,000 followers on Instagram. I have 700 people following my magazine. if I play my cards right, this could be very sustainable. And I am a person that loves creating freebies, loves creating group challenges. Like this is something that is very sustainable for me. That's why I really had an epiphany. Like I know it sounds like, suck, let's start everything from scratch, but it actually feels really aligned. Like it feels like I needed to try all these things out to say, wow, okay, a product-based thing that is a membership feels very sustainable.
Okay. I'm thinking because like, you know, the DYF Accelerator is a product-based membership, and it does take quite a lot of work, and it would be very challenging to build a fresh membership community from scratch, and also be like trying to, because you don't have your agency streamlined yet. You don't really have like productized fulfillment most of the time. So I was kind of talking to Kim about this earlier, actually. So Kim, for the listeners, is a member of the community who has a productized agency where she has like a done with you service, and she's kind of moving into a one-to-many direction with the community. But the thing is, in her case, she has clients, like she has 10 clients paying her €1,000 a month, basically, to do the done with you service. But she's going to be selling this membership site, which is going to be €250 for 3 months. And so if she were to say, all right, I'm going all out on the membership site now, she would essentially like lose a ton of revenue in favor of a product-based business. And while product-based businesses do have more long-term scalability, like earning $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 from a product-based business, like a community or a course or whatever, it's like way, 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 way more work than earning that same money from your consultancy. So I'm down for you to go to this direction if it's like really, really big thing. But the thing to understand is that if the goal right now is to build a good financial base in the way that is the most efficient and takes the least time, I don't know that it is the membership, because membership sites have churn. You have to be constantly prospecting and adding new leads to your funnel and constantly adding new value. Otherwise, people cancel the memberships. And if you're pricing something at $44 a month, it's going to be newer people. So you have a harder time getting them an ROI than someone who's already making money. So all these things being said, if this is your priority, I don't want to poo-poo it, but I do want to know where, like, how it ties into your big picture goals.
So it is not my priority right now. Playground is a future 6 months from now. This is the very prototype, very one-on-one prototype. I'm not launching this until January. I am focusing on everything that we're talking about. I'm focusing on making Basecamp 600-700. You're like, oh, so fuck. Yeah, this is my prototype.
Yeah, I am like that. Good. Cool. So all the anxiety is draining from my heart.
No.
Okay, so you're saying this is your long-term play. Okay.
Yeah, the studio, like consolidating my agency and having like a really robust agency is my goal. And I would love in January to say, okay, let's launch Playground. But for now, like I want to make those 8K months with Basecamp. That's when I know, okay, I can focus on Playground. But for now, you will see this is a one-on-one situation that I'm pitching to my retainer clients. This is only for retainer and existing clients.
Okay. And so if it's only for retainer and existing clients, though, that means that your actual membership revenue stands to not be very big. And I wonder if it's going to be worth your time. Like if you have 10 clients in there, you know, that's $440 a month.
Well, the clients, the one-on-one service, that's why I have tiers. The one-on-one service is the only one that I'm offering, and the memberships start at $590. So, well, they start at $444.
Okay, cool. So I should have just like read the page and figured out when you were going to launch this before I got all scared. So let me just take a moment to skim through. So basically you're saying someone works with you for anything, and then this is like your alternative to the retainer, as you say.
Yes. Because I hate the word retainer. This feels more expensive.
Yeah.
And obviously I built a whole
so with that said. Okay. So let me review with that in mind. And have you soft pitched this idea to anyone yet or not yet?
Yes. One person, she's in it for November. Deposit done and everything.
Okay, cool.
she's moving around, and like I have someone for November. Like I've never had someone book 3 months in advance.
Okay, let me make a note of that. And I'm just making a couple notes about what you said so far.
Of course.
So you're saying the person who booked for November, they're going to start their membership from November, and then they'd be every month from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is it so far out? Do you know?
What is far out? Sorry. Yeah, because she's moving. She's moving. She just finished doing playground. She wants to playbook. Sorry, she wants to keep working with me. She wants to save up, and she really wants to like harness the service, which really showed me like to me. Maybe I'm just trying to feel really good about this, but it shows me that she really sees the value in what I do, and she's like, "Oh, I really want to utilize this. I don't want to just do it and leave it like a. So for me, it really showed me that she got a lot of value from Playbook and that she wants to keep growing with me and prepare for it.
Okay, awesome. That's great feedback. Okay, so with all that said, I understand the context now, so I'll read through. And sorry, what kind of feedback did you want? Because I have a piece of feedback that's like really specific and maybe nitpicky on this, but I don't know if you want that.
That's it. Any feedback you want.
Okay. Well, the idea of getting a 90-day action plan every month is a little bit confusing to me.
No, of course not. It
Just
would be
in terms of position.
Yeah, maybe not every month. With the membership,
you get like the steps for the month or something. Yeah.
I'm going to change, instead of every month, I'm going to say with your membership you get.
Okay. I mean, one thought that this might actually be up here. One thought that I have is that these are almost like, the idea of like features and benefits. These are almost like more like features versus the benefits. So it might be nice to lead with the benefits called out. Like, and I think that might be what this is going to be. But it seems like what you're getting is you're essentially getting strategic planning, accountability, and education. So it might be nice to see like those three things kind of called out. And then this sort of stuff is like the how or something.
Okay.
But even further than that, we have it maybe down here. Yeah, go ahead. What were you about to say?
I think the benefits go up where it says the journey. Maybe these are the benefits. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it. And I think the thing I would be wondering if I were looking at this, because I'm putting myself in the shoes of your clients. So I don't know, like the fact that you're going to have Playbook and Basecamp people both funneling into this, they kind of fundamentally care about different things and they're in different places. So if you're putting, let's say, a Basecamp person into this, they're already earning revenue. And so for them, they're going to probably care about things like getting good content produced more regularly, or, something that's going to augment their income. Whereas the people who came from Playbook, they're probably going to care about getting to the point where they get their first sponsorship or whatever. So it may be that they need different positioning and different landing pages, but I don't do you know when you're selling this, do you know what they care about the most? Like if you're pitching continuity to Playbook, what's the angle? Like what's the business impact that they care about?
Honestly, they all want consistency. That's what my clients want. Like they want to just stay consistent and like have a roadmap. And they always ask me like, okay, like the best feedback, the best piece of feedback that I always get is that they feel very guided by me. Either that is, I always tell them like, okay, let's build content. Let's focus on building good quality content. Or no, you're already past that. Let's build a freebie and get people into your newsletter. Like they always want different things. That's why my retainers are so fluid. So I feel like this has to be for someone that has been working with me for 3 months. Because if you just met me and we do this, I agree with you. It's very non-specific. It's like, okay, let's coach you. But people that already know the way I coach is very like, I listen to you, I pitch you a plan, and I might design it for you if you need it,
But it sounds like the core sell for both is the business impact is the consistency, and the way that you do that is through accountability and coaching and planning. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and yeah, super hands-on,
so then-
super like Telegram voice support, sending them like a lot of resources, a lot of like love, honestly. Like people need love when they're creating a business. I don't know if that sounds too like, but it's true.
I don't think that sounds too foo-foo. I think
Okay.
I as a coach could do better to be more that way.
No, I like your top love. I really need it.
I would
That's why I chose coach. Really. I don't want a cheerleader.
I would be interested in seeing something like this. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just thinking of like a little headline that I'm going to just pull out of my ass to give you an example of what I was thinking. So bring consistency, or just consistency isn't that sexy, but whatever. I'll just write it and you can make it sexier. But bring, because the thing is, like, no one cares about consistency for itself. They care about what the impact of consistency is, right? So you could say like, whatever the impact is of, what was that?
Momentum. They like the word momentum.
Sorry, what did you? Gain momentum, build consistency, and build consistency and momentum with ... or like maybe the support you need to build consistency and momentum via, I don't think you'd say the word via, but nonetheless. And then one would be like strategic planning. And then one would be like coaching. And one would be like education. And then we could probably use some of this days. This I don't think is useful.
Okay, yeah, I read it now.
You could
through your
say
lens,
this if you want to.
it's a bit broad.
Yeah, I would love to just see a headline that's like, here's the business impact you're going to get. Like, you're going to grow your social media account, or whatever the thing is that paying you this money is going to result in. Like, grow your social media account and get more followers, get more sponsorships, do the business thing.
Yeah.
And then talk like a little titch about how you support them in doing that. And then they can read more. That's my opinion. And I'm not like a pro copywriter, but this is just something that sticks out as if you can lead by speaking to business impact, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe like, so it sounds like this is still one-to-many, or this is one-to-one, the coaching?
One-to-one.
Or does it vary based on the package? Oh, okay. Well, then if it's one-to-one, that definitely needs to be front and center.
Okay.
So like you'd want to say like the one-on-one support and coaching and love, parentheses, you need to build consistency and momentum. And then like you wouldn't need the via really anymore. And then maybe instead of these being like substantiation, it could be like just your big 3 sexy call outs of what's included or something.
I think I would put the one-on-one support and coaching and love you need to build consistency and momentum to grow a brand that aligns with your life's purpose, or to grow a brand that feels like pleasure, or something that is tied up to, grow your brand in an enjoyable way, because that's essentially what I offer people. You want to work 20 to 30 hours a week, work with me. I can help you with that,
Yeah. But presumably some of it is that you like, this stuff is going to put more money in their pocket as well, yeah?
Yeah, of course. And that needs to show it. I know I can do a better job doing it.
Yeah. That was all I was going to say, is like, if this subscription is going to tie back to dollars, it would be nice to speak to that. But you would know better than me if they care more about the money or they care more about alignment with their life's purpose. But like if it were for DYF, I would not be talking about life's purpose, because DYF is a very different audience than your audience. I would be talking about making stacks on stacks on stacks.
Of course.
But yeah, so all that said, like, I think that this is great. I like the idea. But I do think one note I would say is that you don't like the word retainer, and I think that's great. I don't really like the word retainer, but I also personally, when you say something like community, membership, subscription, like these things kind of imply one-to-many and non-personalized service. And that's not what this is. What you're doing is you're offering like one-on-one coaching. And that to me is much higher perceived value. And so when you're thinking about labels and packaging, that's
maybe I should use the word mentorship now, the 6 months before I pitch it to like the big public in January, because that is such good feedback. If I change here, a fun, accessible, and empowering mentorship for visionaries, immediately you say, okay, this is a one-on-one thing. Membership could be like, I'm going to be in a group, like in a Zoom with a bunch of people. Okay. That's really, really, really the gold of today.
And maybe even throw in the word one-on-one or something, because mentorship could still, it's a little bit nebulous potentially. Like, and frankly, to add some scarcity here, maybe what you do is if like you think it through and say, what's the maximum number of clients you'd even want to work with for this? And you straight up say that. Say like, I work with a maximum of 10 clients. So like you're one of very few people on my radar or whatever.
Here.
Because I would try that value more too.
It's on the pricing. You can go down. Okay. And I would also love your advice on somewhere there. Go up a little bit.
Yeah, this is very sexy. So yeah, this needs to be more prominent.
Okay. I'm saying that 4 clients are taking because I have 1 Basecamp and 3 retainers. So I cannot take more than 2 people.
Okay. Yeah, something I thought of doing at one point for my website, because the way I ended up finishing my consultancy was that I decided not to scale it and be a soloist and thus not working with clients. And I was thinking, I never did it because I was lazy fuck, but I was thinking of like editing my homepage to have this little like calendar thingy with like, looking like a calendar that you flip on your desk, and it would like show like the spots available, like the next calendar availability, and it would show like August 15th, and it'd be like, it is like it's updated. So maybe, because the easiest way to sell stuff is like scarcity, a reason to join now versus later. And this is like probably your most compelling thing for that. So I'd love it if right here in one of the big ass bullet point that's like, here's what's dope about the program, say like, I only work with 6 people at a time to give maximum attention. Then parentheses, only 2 spots are left. Or
okay, so like, you would put that upper.
Yeah, I think the stuff I'd want to see above the fold is anything that, I want to see the most compelling stuff. So what that would mean is I want to see how it affects my business. I want to see results it's brought to other people. I want to see the reason why I need to join now versus tabling this, like versus coming back to the sales page later saying, oh, this is cool. I'll bookmark this and look at it this weekend and then never do it. It's kind of like they say that the goal of like the subject line is to get the email opened. The goal of the first sentence is to get them to read the first paragraph, blah, 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 blah. Similarly, like I think the goal of the headline on the sales page is to get people to keep scrolling. And so this thing, you want someone to be like, holy shit, I can't just pass this by. This has the potential to be life-changing. So that's kind of what I'm speaking to.
All right. So a life-changing, like first part of the website. Okay. Hero, I think you guys call it.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you have a results-oriented testimonial for someone who you've done coaching for, I would love it if like right after this top panel, there's this big ass testimonial. You don't have one?
I need a results one. I have a client that built her following from 0 to 2K. Super, super, super engaged audience. She launched her newsletter. She has a bunch of freebies. She's about to monetize. She's teaching yoga. Like she's really geared towards what she wanted to do. And it's this one. In 7 months, she has brought so much alignment into her business. But it's really broad, what she wrote. So I can tell her like she could even do a video testimonial, to be honest, because like the stuff we've been doing together, it's really amazing. What do you think about a video?
Remember what I did? Video testimonial sounds dope. But remember what I did for you. I like literally wrote a testimonial that I believed you would resonate with because you'd said it in various places. And I was like, Maya, do you agree with this? Can you copy and paste it and edit, send back? So what if you just like wrote the testimonial you wanted from her that you think isn't bullshit, and then just run it by her, make sure she's cool with it or makes a couple edits, then you got it. And the reason I like this is that if you know what the goal is of that testimonial and you just hope that some client says that about you, like it leaves a lot up to chance. But if you're like, all right, I want a testimonial that says Maia's coaching and support enabled me to grow from 0 to 2,000 followers in a few months, and I'm on track to growing my business to 6 figures within a year. And like, assuming that's all true, if you just write it yourself and say, hey, do you agree with this? Like, presumably you should say yes, because you know her. And then you can have the best testimony in the world at the top of your page.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good.
However you approach it, the goal of that testimonial is to kind of give pudding proof of whatever you're saying here. So if you're saying, yo, I coach you one-on-one and that's dope. And yo, it's going to grow your followers and it's going to make you money. You kind of want that testimonial to be the example of that having happened. That's the context
of that hero. Like,
I didn't mean to get so deep on this. I don't know if this is what you wanted to do today.
No, yeah, for sure. I'd love your advice on a specific part. Yes, here I want your advice because I want to filter people. I know. First, I want your advice on this, on the family love. It's an incentive. If you are one of these clients in the future, this is the $44 one. You get 30% discount in all blank page lab design and content strategy services. So someone that is in the membership for 4 months is really getting prepped and getting like their self-study part, because there's no one-on-one on the $44 one. They're getting the self-study part of eventually saying, okay, I want to work with you. You know, it's like, for example, if Brennan and you offer 30% for everyone that's in the membership for your services, like I would consider it, you know, because I am learning your ways. And if I like your ways, then I will do it with you. So this is what I want. If they like my way, that is a bit more hippie than the traditional marketing, then these people would be really an aligned client, the people that are in the membership. So this is also a way to not spend, like everyone that I funnel into the membership, everything leads to the membership from now on until January, you know? I'm not going to have to like redirect people so much. It's mostly going to be like a huge funnel, which it makes me so happy to think about this funnel, you know? Because now it's like, and it makes me really happy to just funnel everyone to one big place.
But just to clarify, you're saying that if someone became a Playground member or in the future became the $44 a month member and then wanted to hire you for Basecamp, they would get 30% off Basecamp?
Yes, because
then I think that's a bad idea.
Huh?
I think it's a bad idea.
You think it's a bad idea?
Personally.
Okay, you think 30% is too much?
Yeah, so here's my thought on it. And again, this is not me saying this is what you have to do. This is just my opinion. If someone joins your cheap thing, they love you. Like, why would someone ever, they don't need a discount, you know? Like, they took your free thing or your cheap thing and they got so much value out of it. If they go saying, okay, who should I hire for my branding? Like, obviously I want to hire Maia if I can afford her. That's going to be how they're left with that. I don't think a discount makes sense. To me, if the whole play here is to raise your effective hourly rate and get you out of trading time for money, why the fuck would you want to offer a 30% discount? Like, to me, the discount should be given to products. So for example, I'm about to run a promotion for the DYF Accelerator and University. Whenever someone joins the DYF Accelerator, it costs money and it costs my time. So if I offer like really steep discounts on the accelerator, it means that like I have to pay more in staff costs and I have to pay more hours of my own to run this thing. And thus it kind of fights against the cost of the membership. Whereas if I give somebody a discount on DYF University or give them a free course or whatever, like it doesn't really matter because I don't have to spend time to fulfill that course. So similarly, I would love it if someone bought Basecamp, maybe you give them a free year of membership to your $44 a month thing, or you give them free access to all your courses or discounts on your courses. Like, that's cool. Yeah.
The service gets
you could do something like
the way around. Okay.
Yeah. One thing you could do that was a clever thing I stole from Joe Weeb on her copy hackers thing that I do on the accelerator. I don't know if you remember, but on the accelerator sales page, I have a feature, which when I saw it on Joe's thing, I was like, that's such bullshit. It's not even a feature. But nonetheless, I took it because it was still compelling. it's that you get right of first refusal. So like I have a feature of the accelerators, you get right of first refusal for any live events we put on. And so all that's even saying is like, you get to buy a thing from me before the general public. Like, that's not that cool. I'm giving you the opportunity to give me money first. But nonetheless, if your plan is to, which I think is very compelling, by the way, if your plan is to say, I only do one Basecamp project a month, what is going to happen as you build your audience is people are going to really, 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 really want to be the one who, like, quote, gets to hire you. They get to throw the money at you. And so the bonus could be like, you get the right of first refusal when, on the rare occasion when spots open up. But I don't think that makes sense to say now because it's not relevant, because everyone coming here already bought the thing.
But in the future, like, bonus family love, like playground here's first, you get first dibs on every single like page services. It's like a huge wait list. I had a question with you. I love that you told me this. Yes, that I just needed to hear this from you. I was like hoping that you would tell me amazing idea, Maya, because I was excited about this one, but it is a bad idea, especially if my one goal is to have one client for Basecamp, and that should be like really premium prices then.
Yeah, you can still keep it vague. Like, you could say you get first access to schedule availability and you get special bonuses and discounts or whatever. Like, you can keep it super vague. But yeah, I do think that
not 30%. Like, okay, special bonuses.
Yeah, I'm just
bonuses in all blank page labs, design and content strategy services for now.
Yeah, I'm just projecting in the future, imagining the state of your agency and like how strapped for time you'll be. And I think you would really resent if you promised a 30% discount. Like, you can offer a 30% discount one day if you need it, like if you're desperate to get a client, but like to promise it and irrevocably either break a promise or have to take 30% hit, I just could see that being a recipe for resentment.
Yeah, well, the thing, and this is like evil maybe, but maybe let's just call it marketing. Who knows my prices? If I'm saying 30% off, how do you not know that? Like, like I could just like say higher pricer, like I could just add 30% and then remove it, which is what I often do when I quote something. You just like do a discount. I do referral discounts and then I pump up a little bit the price and then I remove. So I don't know if maybe like the wording still sucks. Like, you get 30% discounts, people are going to be like, oh, she's cheapening her service, or if it's an incentive. Because since it's not going to be anywhere just played, since it's a one-on-one like service, and it's more like I send you a deck and the prices, or more like per project, then I don't know if the 30, like, how would they know, I don't know. What do you think about that business model?
Brendan has this thing he says where he talks about how like sales cannibalize future sale. Discounts cannibalize future sales. And I think about it with like a company like Udemy, for example. I have never and will never pay full price for courses on Udemy because I know that the air quotes real price is bullshit and that they are always running some like 90% off sale. And so my perception of what a Udemy course should cost is the sale price. And they really shot themselves in the foot here, because now anyone who's followed Udemy as an engaged customer for a long time feels lied to and feels like the sale price is what they should actually pay. And so to me, if you are kind of like artificially inflating prices just to discount them, it kind of erodes trust with your audience. So I'd much rather see no discounts ever and building urgency with like bonuses. Like, you can bundle a bonus, for example. Like, if I wanted to easily sell subscriptions to this, I could give a free call. You can do that kind of thing. You give a free content audit, give free other things, or give free products. Like, that's the kind of stuff that does add urgency and scarcity and value without fake discounts. And if you ever want to run a discount, then the people who actually are paying attention, they know that this is legit. They know that you're not just bullshitting and that this is a real discount that they need to take seriously. So this is just my opinion. Like,
no.
And then also just
so helpful
from your,
because I've never given a 30%
before we go, just to clarify
anything. Tell me.
Oh, sorry, we've still got a little bit of a delay, so sorry to talk over you.
No, you go.
So So in terms of how things have been going, just to quickly connect before we go, because we have just a few minutes before I have to bounce. So I want to connect with you real quick about your goals and homework and stuff like that. So how, as I understand, you've been booked up. Like, have you been getting new leads coming in that you've been booking for future projects, or because it's been like a week and a half since we talked. What's the lead flow looking like for you right now? So, hello, Maya, you cut out for a second, so we're just going to reshoot this bit. Hopefully you, the listener, don't find this jarring. So Maya, I was just asking you for updates on the lead gen stuff, and then we're going to do some like goals and whatnot. So you said you had a few leads come in, got a few confirmed clients. Can you just re-say that bit again?
So new leads confirmed for August. It's a photographer client that wants to do Playground, which is my 2-week intensive, a strategist that wants to do Basecamp, and a
Playground, not playbook.
Sorry, playbook. I need to change the names. Content, let's call it content strategy. I'm calling it content strategy. One that wants to do content strategy, the other one that wants to do brand identity, and a retainer client that wants to continue working with me through August and September. Those are my leads.
Cool.
I had an unqualified lead because she was asking me for a discount, and I was like, bye, girl. And that's it. Those are my 4 peeps.
And they have paid deposits, or they're still in the lead phase, need to confirm?
No deposits. They
Okay,
all
so they're
the
booked
2
clients.
for August. Yeah, the 3 of them are deposits, and the one that wasn't qualified, of course not.
And so are you fully booked for August now, or are you still going to want to take on more clients for August?
No, I'm fully. I actually wasn't gonna take the photographer. I wanted to tell her for September, but she's doing a like photography book, and I was really excited. So I just invited her in because it's just for 2 weeks that we're gonna be working together. So
okay. So you're booked out, it sounds like about a month and a half, 2 months. Are you still doing the 5 hours a week of lead gen, or have you scaled that back?
yeah, no, I'm very much so doing it, and I'm doing it through Instagram.
Okay.
And I started something that is like a client, like a wall of client love, every 2 weeks, where I shout out all my clients and I say, these are the wins, kind of like how you do it. That was really successful because I think I work with really cool, amazing people. So, people can see, like, can click on the profiles and they're like, oh, wow, this is a guy that has a restaurant. It's not only like girls that are, yoga teachers. So that
Cool.
was really successful.
And so do you feel like your lead flow is staying pretty steady? Like you're getting as many people hitting you up or more for those 5 hours as you were before? Okay, great.
Absolutely.
So then, yeah, lead flow is looking good. I'll want to recalculate EHR at some effective hourly rate at some point based on that. I'm just trying to think of like so this playground build out, this recurring revenue thing, I think it's cool. I'm just trying to think of like, given what I know about your goals and next steps and stuff, what makes sense as your homework. If you're imagining, so your business has these several next phases. The distant next phase is that you want to launch your community, have that recurring revenue, take on one Basecamp client. But the thing that kind of goes up in my mind, which we don't really have time to dig into it today, but what goes up in my mind is that if that's your goal is to only take on one client a month, then why even target an agency? Like the quote point of an agency is to get more leverage and scalability through staff. But if you're only doing one project a month, presumably you're happy to kind of just do that yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess like my question is, for your agency goals, what is the agency goal? Is it that you would do one Basecamp and it's just yourself, but then you do more of the productized stuff and that's fulfilled by staff? Or what? I guess, yeah, my question is just like, what are you working towards on the agency front now? What is the goal there, the big goal?
My goal now is to work until September, October with the clients that I have, build a really cool portfolio, which I have, but really like start doing more case study, and not only in the image part, but also on the video part, build case studies, robust case studies, so I can raise my prices when I launch my membership. Premium service, working with me, you have all my work that you can see and reflect on, and then I take one client. And it can be a client that wants to build the whole thing, but they have to be a really aligned, good client for me to say, okay, I'm going to step out of like my community hat and go into like Studio Maya because I love this project. That's my goal right now.
And so it sounds like you don't really want an agency then. Like what? Because if you had an agency, what would your staff even be doing?
No, I have my designer, Anna, which I haven't updated you. She's amazing. She's been really like taking on clients' calls with me, and she's been giving ideas to clients. My clients are asking Anna questions, which for me has been one of the most like the happiest moments of my growth in business. So I think with her, I'm fine on the studio side, and we can work together 6 months until I launch the membership. And I don't know if she wants to be my right hand for the membership. But I really have a feeling that my membership is going to be very low maintenance, as it is my studio. And I know you're looking at me and you're like, girl, no, but I really have a feeling.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, I'm not saying
And
you can't do it. What I'm wondering more is like what you will do if that's the case. What you would do with your time, what the business would look like.
mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, just spend more time writing my books and just, doing my project and building my magazine, which is what I want to do. Like, this is a way to productize and gain back my time, still have my audience. So when I launch my books, they're there, it's my people. And I want to build a platform that has no notifications. No one can tag anyone. It's a resource. It's a library. You go in there, you get twice a month, like an email that says what's new on Playground, sorry. But it's not a social space. It's actually the contrary. It's a thing for people to go and say, oh, okay, I'm going to just play around. I don't want to see any red buttons. I don't want anyone to tag me. Like, just to think about something like that makes me really happy. I want to build something that I'm excited to show up to every day. So that's that.
Okay. So basically then what I'm getting is that the role of the agency in your grand business vision and life is essentially short-term role, just pay the bills. Long-term role and fuel your soul a little bit, but also mostly be like an experimentation ground and the basis for building courses and building an audience. That's basically the role, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then what I'm thinking is that the thing that's going to benefit you in all these different directions, whether it's the courses or the one agency client or the membership or the whatever, is going to be like probably just kind of going more into this audience building lead gen kind of perspective and stuff. And so given that you're booked out with clients and stuff, we don't have enough time for me to really go deep into this, but that's kind of, I think, our next focus. What was that?
Next week we'll have time.
Yeah, we've got the delay again. Damn it! But my first priority with you was get your take home pay higher because you had the potential to get leads. And so I think what would be maybe smart for right now is to keep doing the lead gen that you're doing, but keep raising your rates. Like I think I challenged you a couple weeks ago to essentially double your rates, and I wanted to ask how that went.
Not double, but put a little bit more. It worked with one client with the bundle. Remember?
Yeah, the bundle. Okay.
The bundle client was amazing. This second bundle client was amazing, and it's essentially just one more meeting, and one more week of support, and like, but it worked. Like now I'm at 2.6K for Basecamp, and when we started working together, it was 2K, 2. So I think it's a lot. Like I want to keep raising it, but yeah, like 3 months, 2 months, and I raised it a lot. And I've never had anyone deny it, and I booked out in advance, like,
Yeah, well, my thought is that we should have you keep raising it until your effective hourly rate can be really high. But because like, here's what I'm thinking. The short-term goal was get you some cash, get you not broke, get you like feeling like you have a safety net and stuff. And then the next goal is doing more lead gen. But given that your whole hook is always going to be very limited client service, like the more lead gen you do, the more demand you have and less you can actually supply, and thus the more you can charge. So I guess I don't really have a good homework assignment for you for this next week, but I would say one is this. You said your mic arrives soon. You've been talking to your sex coach client and stuff. I think getting that case study squared away, getting that testimonial, potentially writing it and asking for approval, I mentioned that would be a good asset. Maybe like just start getting your head into the space of, okay, the next step is probably going to be doing more proper marketing-y stuff on top of Instagram to get more scale and leverage. And so maybe that's what we'll chat about next week.
Testimonials and scale. I'm going to put that like that.
But I don't have a good homework assignment for you for this, just because.
No, that's good. I can workshop it on my own. Testimonials, scale, marketing, like I know where we're going, I think, next week.
Yeah.
So.
And the case study interview, hopefully soon. I didn't get an update there, but doing that case study interview with the sex coach,
Please.
educator, whatever, that would be
With
good
my
soon.
sex coach.
According to ChatGPT, yeah. You guys listening missed that in the community. The ChatGPT summary said it was Maia's sex coach. Okay. So anything else before we go? Or should I do the little outro?
No, you can do it. Thank you so much for going overtime for me again. I am so happy with this session. It was
no worries. It's great getting updates. So then we will do our little outro. So, dear listener, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, leave good reviews, do all those things. And as a reminder, if you join the DYF Accelerator, your membership includes access to weekly one-on-one office hours, which is live coaching with me, just like this. 20 minutes each week, and you can come to masterminds and things like that. You also get an access to the vault of past office hours, masterminds, and whatnot. You can learn more at dyf.link/DYFA. If you want to learn about Maia's business or follow Maia on the interwebs, you can check her out on Instagram at Maia Ben, which is MAIABEN. Maia Ben, like boy, Maia Ben. Or her website, blankpagelab.io. So, Maia, great to see you as always. And listener, great to talk to you one directionally. See you guys.
Thank you.